Welcome to the episode of the Popcorn People Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we have a jam packed one for you. We are going to give a spoiler free review of A Haunting in Venice. We're going to break down our thoughts on the Bikeriders trailer that dropped this week, share some, fun movie recommendations, and then we're going to end the show with our top three juices. As always, I'm joined by my partner here, Mr. Dom Fisher. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, popcorn people was good. It's been a decent weekend. Did a little this, a little that. It's football season in full effect. When we got college and we got NFL. My Miami Hurricanes, put up an upset. We're looking good. Hopefully, we one player get hurt pretty badly. Hopefully, he's okay. I think he uh, has some kind of neck head injury. I believe I heard that he's doing okay, relatively okay. And then the pack won today because some Bears ain't shit. So it's been a good weekend.
We have a new owner of the Chicago Bears. It used to be Aaron Rodgers, but there was a change of ownership to Jordan Love now. All I've heard all season is about how the Bears are going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and Justin Fields, man, he looked like dog shit. So, you
Yeah,
know, yeah,
terrible play calling. They don't know how to use a quarterback like that. I think that's what it is. They've never had one like him, and they just don't know what to do with him.
and I just don't think that he makes great decisions in the pocket either.
No.
So that doesn't help the situation either. But we've got a fun show for you guys planned today. Dom and I saw an advanced screening of A Haunting in Venice. That should be fun to talk about. That comes out this Friday in theaters. What's coming out in theaters this week? Oh, wait, is that outside of that? Is it just that? Is that just what's coming out this week?
I feel like there hasn't been much buzz. I mean, there's a lot of I'd say buzz about this film. There's a lot of marketing, like Instagram ads, Facebook ads. Um, I think that might be really about it.
Camp
Camp Hideout.
Hideout? Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I don't really care to know what it is either.
I think that's about it.
Um, yeah, so then the following week is Expendables 4, and it lives inside, which you saw. It lives inside, right? How
Yeah,
was that?
man, I liked it, man. It's not like the horror genre has when you want your slashers, you're gonna go to either your go-to franchises or you're gonna go to Shutter. So now the ones we're getting on screen, the big screen, they're a little more story driven. It's a little more to say, but I liked it. I liked the way it came out.
It's not bad at all. Yeah, this theatrical movies right now is a little dry. So, I mean, unless you're going to see Barbie or Oppenheimer for the 93rd
Yeah.
time, you know what I mean? It's a little dry right now. But it's definitely interesting to see as we shift closer and closer to award seasons. I do know Dom and I have a pretty exciting movie that we're going to see soon that I've already seen, that he hasn't, which is next, not this Monday, but the following Monday. We're going to go see Fair Play together. I'm excited to see it in a theater. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into the trailer of the week.
So yeah, of the week this week, there's a lot of trailers. I mean, there was days like multiple trailers coming out. There's a few that stand out. The one that we picked looks like one of the coolest movies that's gonna come out, with a stacked cast, and that is the Bikeriders. And there's normally when I go for our quick little synopsis, I go to Google, and the first thing that pops up, there's not a lot of information here besides that. It's a fictional story inspired by a 1967 photo book of the same name by Danny Lyon, and stars an ensemble cast that includes Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, Michael Shannon, Mike Fast, and Norman Reedus. And some of these guys actually rise, so it's gonna look pretty authentic. What were your thoughts on it?
So, as a fan, as a massive fan of Sins of Anarchy, I saw this trailer and automatically got that vibe. The one thing that is a little bit off-putting, a little, is the accents. The accents are a little weird. they're not they're not terrible per se, but I will say that some of the accents, especially Jodie Comer's accent, is really just like strong and thick. But outside of that, I will say this: I really got a like you said, it's got the bike rider vibe to it. So as a result, it's got the cool gang like aspect of it because I mean, motorcycle gang is what they're called anyway. Like, but to me, like, there's some action in here. You have the inner motorcycle gang, collisions going on inside this. You've got the battle. What seems like what Tom Hardy's handing it down to Austin Butler. Hit to the next phase of the generation or whatever have you. I don't know. It looks fantastic to me. It really does. It looks like right up my cup of tea. And then, of course, you got my main man, Austin Butler, who was absolutely robbed of the fucking Oscar from The Whale and Brendan Fraser in that garbage ass movie. But well, I digress. I think he looks like a damn movie star in this. Like this kid,
Sure.
like it's not a one and done. This guy is going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. And he looks fantastic in this. Very excited to see this. Jeff Nichols had a lot of great things to say about Austin Butler in the making of this film. So I'm very excited. December 1st, I think it comes out. I'm hoping that we get to see it sometime before that because they're releasing in the hunt of the Oscar season. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if this is a Oscars type of movie, but I don't really care. I'm ready to. I'll be seated for it opening weekend, no matter what.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those films where I think I said this to you earlier in the week that I wish I already knew how to drive a motorcycle. I already know that looking at this, like, man, I wish I could pull up to the theater on a bike and be like, yeah, I'm finna go watch. um, dude, it looks badass. I mean, our whole culture, part of it is built on like, outlawism, being a rebel and all these things, and nothing's more rebel and outlaw than motorcycle gangs, leather jackets, loud motorcycles, and then all the craziness that comes with it, whether it's races, fighting, the girls. Like it looks like it's going to be something crazy. Um, and I've been around some of these characters before. I used to dabble with some fellows that were in motorcycle gangs. Now, black motorcycle gangs are a little bit different. The swag's a little different. The bikes are a little different, but I feel like the energy, the personalities are the same. So this is going to be exciting for a lot of people. I think we've all been kind of obsessed with this culture for a long time. It died down a little bit, but I hear mention of Sturgis recently. I hear Black Bike Week. So this lifestyle, the street racing is coming back. So naturally, motorcycle gangs and the street racing of motorcycles is going to come back, and it looks like it's perfect timing. And that's what these movies do when they come out at such a precise time. That just seems to align with where the culture is going, and it seems like motorcycles are back.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's going to be my cup of tea and a whole lot of fun. I really, the moment I watch the trailer, like I don't, I've been very vocal on this podcast that I don't watch trailers unless Dom forces me to. And there's 75 movies that have movies trailers come out this week. This is the one he picked on me. He did it on purpose because he knew that I didn't want to watch this trailer, but it's okay. I digress anyway. But that being said, speaking of trailer, let's drop into the news. All right, after all of this chatter this week, just a brief news of the week this week. We got news earlier this morning or afternoon, whatever it was. Whenever I said the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom trailer is finally coming. There's been so much chatter surrounding this movie about when we're going to get a trailer. They're not promoting the movie. They're not doing anything, blah, 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 blah. Apparently it's coming Thursday. I'm sure it will be the topic of next week's show. I haven't watched the 30-second teaser they put out. Apparently it's incredible. It's God's gift to the world and all of these other things. But look, I will watch this 1000% because I watch just about anything. But I have zero interest in this film. And I have there is on a scale of 1 to 10 on expectations, mine's is 100 minus 150. Like that's why I think it could potentially be good. Like I have zero expectation for this movie. All of the reshoots, all of the conversations about it being terrible. Aquaman 1 is literally by far one of the worst comic book movies I've ever seen in my entire life. So I don't know. What do you think about the did you watch the little teaser? Uh
No.
okay. And what are your thoughts about the trailer, about the movie, all that good stuff?
So I've never ever in my life been interested in Aquaman. Now, yeah, the Jason Momoa look cool and the outfit and he's swole up. Yeah, that doesn't mean that the hero is different. I just mean he looks different. Um, I was very late watching the first Aquaman because I really was not interested in seeing it. Um, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not a movie I've rewatched. I never really had a inkling to want to revisit it. The new one, I mean, I feel like so this is I know that they had to go back and forth between cutting out Amber Heard and how much she's going to be in the movie and what do we take and what do we keep and movies that have that kind of energy around them. I feel like it's going to turn out like a Morbius where it feels like a Frankenstein film where they go, I don't know what we wanted to do, and we end up with this fractured film that like people talk shit about, and it's almost a joke. Um, and I feel like this is a movie that I don't know. I don't know if this is the last part of the DCEU or if Jason's going to stay playing Aquaman. If he's going to go be Lobo, maybe I don't know what they're doing, but it doesn't seem like, at least to me, that they have a lot of faith in what it's going to do. The fans, of course, they want to see anything DC because they want to see DC win because Marvel's been reigning supreme for so long. They're like, look, we got to have something. Like we had Blue Beetle, it was cool. Flash was okay, but they haven't had that one that could just be like, this is the one. And I can understand why they want this to be the one, especially of the last days of the old era. But look, let it go. Like the movie said, let it go. We're gonna move into this James Gunn era and see what he does because they should just if they're gonna scrap uh Batwoman, Batgirl, whatever it was, and not let it see the light of day, and they spent 300 million on it or something like that. You could put this one away. We'll be okay. Just keep
I mean,
going with
just
the new stuff.
drop that shit on HBO Max
Yeah,
tomorrow.
for
Like I
real, for real. If
just
you want the most
literally
eyes, what they could do, drop it on Max for like a week. Everybody gets to see it. If they hype it up, put it in theaters for the window, and then boom, you got like this buzz built to go see on the big screen. And
there's
we never
nothing
seen
coming out in
seen
theaters
that
this week.
strategy. He's
There's
what?
nothing coming out in theaters this week. Just drop it in theaters this week. You know, Honey at
Right,
Venice. Like I'm sure,
right.
like how cool would that be? Is like just a random drop in theaters. You know what I mean? Like it's
Do
Monday
like
morning, you
Beyonce.
find out. Exactly. You know what I mean? Just
Why
hey,
has nobody done that?
hey, it's coming out. Right? That'd be pretty badass,
That'd be
actually.
kind of
I know
tough.
they did it on Netflix once. I think it was with
Yeah,
that sequel to I forget what it was. But yeah, like why not do that? Like why not just like out of nowhere drop it in theaters like the week of? I mean, you build there's no better way to especially like in a week of there's nothing coming out.
right.
Like
I
and
feel
there's
like A24 could pull that off. If they could, I feel like they could do that with Maxine and just drop it at some random time because everybody wants to see that movie. I want to see the movie really bad,
yeah.
and that's gonna make money regardless if they do a whole bunch of marketing anyway because the franchise is so fresh, and we just saw the past two films in the past couple years. They could just drop that and then flood the people.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be cool as shit just because you are in the midst of so many questions surrounding the film. It's like I mean, you're not marketing the movie anymore. Your actors can't promote the movie
Right.
because you know what I mean. Like they're not allowed. We're in the middle of a strike. Speaking of which, pay your writers and pay your actors.
Yeah.
But it's stupid. So
And
I
it
don't know.
seems like Warner Brother Discovery is having a fire sale anyway. I don't know what's going on over there. Like they need to fix their app. It seems like things are getting cut and dropped and canceled and replaced and removed. Like I don't. It's crazy over there.
Yeah, they suspended like so many people's contracts this week or whatever it was, and I
Yeah.
was like, this is.
I mean, the
Not
fact
great
that they
vibe.
changed the app from HBO Max to Max, like or Discovery, I guess when they got on, we're like, take that off, bro. We don't want that. It seems like they're trying to do bad.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like sell it to somebody that will do something with it, please. Like y'all have an incredible library of movies.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That being said, let's swiftly move on to our movie review of the week.
You know what time it is. The review of the week, a Haunting in Venice, the third installment of these Kenneth Branagh directed Agatha Christie based films. This one, the Belgian sleuth Hercule Poirot investigates a murder while attending a Halloween seance at a haunted palazzo in Venice, Italy. It is based on the 1969 novel Halloween Party. I don't know how it's really pronounced. There's like a a little apostrophe in
Yeah.
between the E's. Um, Post World War II setting. I'll let you go first on this one.
Oh, man. Man. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. All right. So I'm going to be honest with you. This is this is the trilogy of Brana playing Hercules here, as I'm going to call him. We had Murder on the Orient Express, which I thought was extremely underwhelming with an incredible concept. And then we moved to Death on the Nile, which again was really underwhelming with some really bad performances and weird shots. And then we fast forward to present, and it's a haunting in Venice. And we're gonna do our here best. We won't spoil anything for you guys. We do know that the movie's not out in theaters yet. We're just gonna talk about it. So without diving too much into this, I think that this is a reoccurring theme to me whenever I talk about movies that are labeled horror. For if you look on Google, IMDb, or any other website, you see horror is listed in the box for A Hunting in Venice. And to me, I'm so sick and tired of watching these movies being promoted. And we're talking promoted. This has a trailer that is actively trying to reel you in with the idea that there is some horror aspects to this film. And it's crazy to me because there's nothing scary. Like the scariest thing that happened in the entire movie was whenever my seat roared, and I didn't realize my seats were going to roar so loud because there was like a loud gust of like water outside. Like that's the only thing that really startled me the entire movie. Again, another huge thing that really frustrated me in this movie, you have a star-studded cast. Star-studded cast. There's some good performances in here. I didn't realize that the kid was Jude Hill. I didn't know that. And Jude Hill was fantastic in
Yeah.
Belfast. Really, really good. So it was good to see him and Brana work together again. And then Tina Fey, I thought she was fun. I thought she did kind of bring some fun comedic moments. I do think she was a little hokey towards the end of the film because the character was written so just horrible writing that didn't make any damn sense at all. But you have the recent Academy Award winning actress Michelle Yeoh in this movie and was completely underutilized. You have Jamie Dornan, who is in my opinion, should be a movie star.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's always going to play in smaller films because he doesn't want to be. He had his taste of what a blockbuster is, and he didn't love it with the whole 50 Shades of Grey thing. I don't think he liked all of those eyes on him. I think he first off, he probably made his money on that franchise and doesn't need to, go out here and make millions. So I feel like he's picky about what he does. But when you have Michelle Yeoh, again, a recent Academy Award winning actress, Jamie Dornan, who was in the hunt to be an Academy Award winning actor, and you don't use them at all, blows my mind. I understand like ensemble casts, you have to let everybody have a piece of the pie, but they didn't even let Dornan or Yeoh really kind of deliver anything at all of anything meaningful substance. And it was literally frustrating. I will say this, the standout to me is, I'm going to butcher this name, but Harris Zambarlukas. Stunning cinematography, I believe, was basically the only thing that really kind of stood out to me. It did kind of give a dark theme to the idea of what they were trying to bring out with the dark and mysterious vibe of the movie. And I do think the set location was stunning. I do think that this movie is in the same universe as Mission Impossible now. So I feel like Ethan Hunt and Hercules over here are going to come head to head in the final Mission Impossible film. But outside of that, this movie is terrible. Like if I wouldn't recommend seeing this in theaters. I wouldn't recommend like renting it when it comes out on DVD, like when it first comes out on digital, because it's like $20 or $15. Don't do it. It's miserable. It's such a miserable film. All right, sorry, I'm done on my rant, Dom. Dom's gonna give it 5 stars. So here we go.
No. So I feel the same way on a lot of the key things. I think it's technically a sound movie. I think the wardrobe looks cool. Like I think I described it as like the opening sequence is very much like the opening of a book. How you go, oh, the serene this and the setting and the character features and the wardrobe and this feeling of dread that is hanging over Hercule because he just is not feeling like himself. But yeah, it's called a haunting. I felt no haunt. I like I'm a big horror fan and I'm always looking to be scared because I don't scare easily or at all in most cases. And but there was some typical jump scares they tried to do that don't really work. They kind of overuse some of them. I thought Jude Hill was great. I like him and Jamie together. I thought that Braun and bringing them back was really cool. I love Michelle Yao, and like, why you do that? Like, I don't want to see her forever, and we don't. It's why'd you do that? And yeah, I mean the mystery. Look, I know what some of these filmmakers think. We see them sometimes reference they think audiences are dumb. Honestly, that's if you don't know that some of these directors, some of them have been around for a while. Some of these filmmakers believe the audiences are dumb. They think our attention spans are too short, so they dumb things down or they make it too obvious. But we all love a good mystery. Why not give us a mystery? And I remember posting the title card on my Instagram and they get some messages and people are like, how is it? Because people want it to be like Knives Out. And I was like, just watch Knives Out, watch Glass Onion, because those kill these movies. I'm sorry, Kenneth Branagh, but I don't know if you're sticking too close to the source material because I haven't really read too much Agatha Christie. And maybe you need to take some creative liberties with the story, make it. You could have taken these and kind of made them modern, and still kind of had that vintage feel. But I think keeping it in this era is maybe that's part of what made it boring. I don't know, man. Because that's what it was. It got boring. We first looked at the time and it didn't seem like it would be that long. I think it's a minute or hour 43.
Yep.
And come the third act, I'm like, bro, I already figured it out. Get it over with. Yep. Like I think me, you, like, and your buddy, we were all looking at each other like, like, go ahead and let's get this reveal over with.
Just tidy it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, and you have this big cascading place that it takes place in, and you don't utilize any of it really. Because if you're gonna do something in a haunting and you're in this big house, make the house more haunted.
Yep.
And you can still have this mystery, and you play with what's real, what's fake, and they do it a little bit, but not to the extent that they should have to really drive the point home. Because someone who's supposed to be as celebrated as Hercule and being this detective, you got to make him really off his game, and he's like, oh, I know. You know what I mean? Like he got cheated and came back, and I needed him to be like, bro, I don't know, I'm going crazy. I can't. and it just didn't. It's just not it. It's not it. It's lucky that it has the release that it does with really no competition. So it's gonna look like, man, the movie made a lot of money, and that's because it was the only thing new. I mean, unless the Camp Hideout blows it out the water, but I haven't really heard much about the movie in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know much about Camp Hideout either. So and maybe it could be the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? I don't
Right.
know. Yeah, man, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's just honesty, guys. It's rough. I mean, we're in a marketplace right now where movies are it's hard, you know what I mean? Money, like, money's tight in a lot of instances. Hell, I hate going to the grocery store, spend $200 and I got like 6 bags. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. So it's like you have to, you know, I don't know, man. It's just rough. I'm just tired of, I don't know. I'm just hoping that this is the end. Like this is it. Like I'm really hoping
Yeah.
that I love Kenneth Branagh. I think he's a great filmmaker,
Yeah.
and I think he's a very good actor, a very good writer. Glad he won his Academy Award, but like he's got to give these up. Like you got to go. Like especially when you have Rin Johnson out here just lighting up the world with these Knives Out movies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you got Daniel Craig acting circles around you, bro. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It
Accent,
is what it
accent
is.
versus accent, man. And then look, don't we got like a Clue reboot remake coming out in the next year or two with Ryan Reynolds? Like, if
Do we?
that's a banger, man, then Rhonda, you're like in third place, bro. What are you doing?
I don't know. I hate Ryan Reynolds. I like Ryan. Look, I just hope he doesn't play Deadpool in the movie. I mean, that's all I really care about. But all right, let's switch over to some watch recommendations. Like we do each and every week here in this segment, Dom and I talk about some stuff that we recently watched that we believe you should give a watch. It doesn't have to be something that's new. It could be something that's old. It could be something we rewatched. And there's so many different elements that go into this. Dom, hit us with some watch recommendations this week.
All right, so this week, if you want to see one of the most vile, you know, manipulative, crazy, sociopathic, real life villains, you need to watch BS High on Max. That documentary is fucking bonkers, dude. I can't believe this guy is a real person. If you don't know, a couple years ago, I'm sure you saw in the news, there was that high school, Bishop Sycamore, that played against IMG on ESPN, and they got blew out the water, despite them telling everyone they had D1 prospects all over the field. Get beat 58-0, and this investigation starts and go, hey, this school is fake. These players are too old. And now we're getting all the backstory. And Bishop Sycamore is the tail end of the story. There's a whole beginning that we didn't know about that you don't find out to this documentary. And man, I've never wanted to strangle somebody after watching a movie. Like this dude is crazy. The coach, you got to check it out. On Max, BS High, crazy. One of the craziest real life stories you're gonna watch all year. My show recommendation. So it's football season. So I did another football thing this week. I didn't get to finish this series. However, I started finally watching Coach Prime on Prime. And look, we see him in the media, in the interviews. This dude is that dude. And watching this documentary, this docu-series, should I say, I wanted to play football. I wanted to play again. I quit playing back in 2009, and I was like, I'm trying to put the pads on again, coach. Like, what's good? Like, to see how he is as a man, as a coach, as a father, and he rolls that all up into one, and he's the same guy all the time, whether he's off the camera, on the camera, with his team, with his family, like, he's the same guy. He gives respect, demands respect, and it just seems like he's just all around good dude, and that's why we call him Coach Prime. He gets that moniker. You don't have to call him Coach Sam. This is Coach Prime. And shout out to their second win at Colorado. But yeah, check that out. It's really good. You know, it's kind of what you were talking about last week, he lives that family faith football. That's like in his DNA, but I'm sure it doesn't go to that extent. But yeah, check that out. Coach Prime on Prime and BS High on Max.
Yeah, huge Coach Prime. I was a Dion fan as a kid.
Yeah.
I love Dion. I think he's one of the greatest defensive players that's ever, stepped foot in the on the field. And I want nothing but success for that man. I agree with you. I would run through a fucking wall for that man.
Yeah.
Like if he said to do that, I don't care if we're like if he was sitting here with me right now and he goes, "Hey man, I want you to run through that wall," after he gives me one of this speech, I will literally run through the wall for that man. I don't care what anybody says. All right. So what am I going to talk about? I recently rewatched I spent the money. I paid for I paid for Past Lives. I bought it $20. I wanted to show the film to my wife as well, because I believe it is not only one of the best films of the year, but I think it's one of the best films of this decade. Past Lives is just Celine Song. She just has this ability to tell this story. The story kind of follows a couple, Nora and Ha Sung, two deeply connected childhood friends who were wrestled apart after Nora's family kind of immigrates from South Korea. Decades later, they reunite for one fatal week as they are confronted with destiny, love, and choices that make a life. And Greta Lee, Tia Yeo, and John Magaro are the characters in this film, and Nora and Arthur are the ones that are married now. So you got John and John and Greta's characters that are married, and then kind of Tia Yao, he's the other guy in this in this situation. But song script is beautiful. It's poignant, and it's really hard to kind of go into detail about the film without like trying not to spoil it for those who haven't seen it. But it's such an emotional, beautiful, and just raw film that shows this true love of aspect of relationships that you don't really get to see depicted on the big screen. And I think one of the more impressive things, obviously as a guy, one of the more beautiful things that are depicted in this is how incredibly thoughtful and supportive Arthur, the husband in this situation, John Magaro, is in a lot of these situations where he probably, if in real life, there's a lot of people that wouldn't have handled the same way that he did. It's just this emotional, gut-wrenching film. I truly cannot think of many films that I expect to really kind of go over the top of this movie towards the end of the year. Obviously, I'm going to keep the door open. I'm not a guy that's shutting the door on it, but it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I just wish that we could give Oscars to everybody involved because they're so well deserved. It's one of the best movies of the year, one of the best movies of the decade, one of the best scripts. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. I need you to watch it just so that we can talk about it. I don't know. See it, message me, please. I love it. So, Dom, have you seen it yet?
I still haven't seen it.
I'm so mad at you.
I know.
I'm gonna need you to see it. A24 sent it to this man.
For real.
Have you come over to my house just to watch it? We can cry together on the couch. Let's see here. My second recommendation of the week is going to be. I guess I'll recommend it. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, I did watch Daryl Dixon. I do think that started tonight. Episode 1. I watched all 6 episodes already. I thought it was good. What was the other one that came out this year? Dead City, I think it was Walking Dead. Dead City that brought Maggie
and
Negan.
Yeah,
they brought them back. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. I felt like this is kind of an opportunity to highlight the characters that we all know in their own separate world. 6 episodes. It's pretty crisp, so it's enjoyable. I definitely think that it's worth the time. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, it's worth the time. Now I'm a fan of The Walking Dead. Like the first 3 seasons, I stopped watching, but I know these characters as I've seen videos and read
This
things, but
outside of like Marvel stuff and DC stuff, this universe of The Walking Dead has got to be one of the most expansive things that we've seen come from TV. And I mean, probably forever. I mean, you have
yeah,
like four or five spin-off shows, and I think they're still working on
another
like
one
the
coming. One like there's
yeah,
two or
like
three more coming.
Rick
Yeah,
Rick Grimes movie or something, and he still got to know what's going on with Michonne. Like, it's a lot. I don't know how they've able to put together, and I've always loved zombies, and there was like you do. Now, I did see fatigue in the Walking Dead stuff. I was just like, man, everybody's got to die, right? At some point, like, how can you just, I mean, the human spirit, you want them to keep going, like, yeah, survive. But as a watcher, you're like, how much can you do?
yeah,
But the comics was very long. I have like two of the compendiums, and they're both like, you know, a couple thousand pages. It feels like. So yeah, but it's crazy to see how much Kirkman hasn't been able to expand this whole thing. It's pretty
yeah.
impressive.
It really is. It's like it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot to do, and it's a lot of characters, a lot of moving pieces, but they've done a great job of it. And I mean, a lot of those people, a lot of those people are set up for life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always joke and say like some of the best things ever is to be a part of that type of franchise because like you can be set up for life. You just show up at cons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You put the comic cons of all across the United States and just show up, do some autographs, and move on with your day. But I liked it. I thought it was good. There's going to be another show that I'm going to recommend. I'm going to talk about it again next week just because, but it drops on Friday, so you can hear it between now and then. And that is Wilderness. It starts on Prime Video. I'm not going to say anything else about it. I am going to drop all my reviews on each episode on Friday on Ready Steady Cut, so you can be sure to check it out. It is. Won't say anything out loud. I really like it. That being said, we are going to. Sorry, I gotta get my brands up here. All right, we're gonna transition to our weekly rankings. I am really enjoying this. I like that. See, the crazy thing about it is, our random rankings, we just come up with random things to rank each and every week. We give our top 3 of said thing. Dom kind of hits me every once in a while, or I hit him, or we have our wives recommend them, whatever it looks like. One of those things always lays out, and we kind of do it. So it's definitely interesting. This week's top 3 is juice, and I really like. You really caught me off guard with this because there's so many layers
Yeah.
the juice scenario. And then I looked at my list and I'm like, man, I'm so basic with this shit. But I ain't even mad about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even mad about it. I'm really kind of excited to chat about it. Excited to see where you went with it as well.
Yeah, because
Um,
juice is a very broad term.
it
Because
is.
it just the first thing I thought of when I sent it to you was
Yeah.
the Dave Chappelle like juice. I want that
Oh.
drink, like great drink. Because yeah, I mean, what I've considered juice to be anything that is not soda and water and milk and something that's or it's fruity and fruit based or fruit named. It's going to be your juice.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is something just came to my head that if I would have left it off my rankings, I would have cried probably. I probably would have cried. But all right, Dom, I'm gonna let you kick it off. What are your top 3 juices? Juices.
So this was it was the first two were easy. The third one was the hard part for me because I was like, man, if I'm not drinking water, I do try to find a juice. And what is the one thing I try to, get to when I can? So every time we go to an AMC theater or I'm at Five Guys, anywhere that has that the Coke vending, the touchscreen Coke vending machine, there's one drink that I always go to, and it happens to be a juice, and it's a raspberry and lime high C every time. So that's my number 3. Number 2, I went traditional Martinelli's apple juice, fire, cold apple juice, man. Especially when you haven't had it in a while, it just hits that spot. And then number one, it's a hood classic. You got to get it in the tall carton with the giraffe on it, and that's Jungle Juice.
You know,
Undefeated for me. I love it. It's so good.
it's crazy. Like I said, man, I have a basic list. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty basic. However, there is Everfresh, right? Everfresh has all of these different types of juices. My old buddy Scobie, he got me in on the Everfresh. We used to fill we would take it about halfway, and then we would take the other half and fill it up with Ciroc, and we would just drink the shit out of it, right? And they had one flavor that was always like, we would do like a fruit punch, and they don't even really make the fruit punch that much anymore of these flavors. Like we try to find it for a long time, so it's like the fruit punch or the grape, and that's the kind of flavors of the Everfresh. So that's going to come in at number 3 for me. Look, I'm basic here. Orange juice, it's clutch. It's just orange juice. And the thing about it is, the only time I ever really drink orange juice is when I'm drinking it with my coconut rum. So it's definitely just a perfect combination. The coconut rum with the OJ makes for the perfect mix. My number one is something, this is going to make people laugh, but I only drink it while I'm on a flight. Okay. It's cran apple. And the thing about it is it's very, very good. But the thing that I've noticed is it's only really, really good out of a can, right? It's the Minute Maid can. It's just something about maybe it's way fresher than what you get on the shelves, but it's not as good. And I understand people are like, oh, you can get the cans on the shelf. I understand that, but it's just something about it that when they pop that top, they pour it in the thing, it tastes so much better than whatever they're putting in the grocery stores. I don't know what it is. It's delicious.
It's like eating those the Biscoff cookies on the plane. You can get them on the store, but somebody eat them on the plane is like, I get a little treat,
Exactly. And you know what's crazy? They taste so freaking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they taste so freaking good. So I don't know, man. It was pretty it's pretty solid. Made me think quite a lot about this. So I was pretty stoked about talking about some juices. So real quick, give us a real quick recap of your juices, my guy.
Number 3, we got that raspberry lime high C. Number 2, Martinelli's apple juice. And number 1, already know what it is, that jungle juice.
Yeah, I like it. I like the list. And my list was the Everfresh. I'm going to go fruit punch was number 3, orange juice number 2, and the cran apple was number 1. And before we go, I just wanted to invite you guys into the world of what it's like to review stand-up comedy in the world of let me share my screen real quick. I recently reviewed Shane Gillis's new special, which was called Beautiful Dogs. And, I'll just be honest with you guys. I didn't say a whole lot of nice things about it. And, I said a slow start causes a bumpy road. Now, what I did say was, hang on, where's my official review? I said, it's a mix of bad goods. It doesn't land perfectly, but you won't regret watching it. Although the last 20 minutes saved us from being a complete disaster, I'm not sure many people stick around long enough to find the jokes. Now, me in the world of stand-up comedy, we have a love and hate relationship, especially when it comes to commenters. All right, so terrible review. I read it, said, wow, that's a terrible review. He's so smart that he posted it twice under 2 different names. That makes him pretty cool. Ben Adams over here, he said, Shane Gillis, an absolute lad. I found all of his jokes to be hilarious. It seems that maybe the reviewer didn't really understand his delivery and was slightly biased against him. Why would I be biased against Shane Gillis? First off, to be honest with you, I vaguely knew of Shane Gillis heading into this. So whatever. Frank, low energy, sleepy Ricky. Top tier comment. Not even mad about it. It's actually pretty funny. Way to leave out the actual punchline. To be honest with you, I wasn't going to go through the entire punchline. Watch the fucking special. He gave my review 2.5 stars, which honestly 2.5 stars pretty solid. So this review was boring, dull, and bumpy road throughout due to a rocky start with a bad headline. This special is very good all the way through. You're welcome. How can you write about comedy and not understand that the, as you put it, awkward and exhausting delivery is obviously calculated and clever? Well, if I thought it was calculated and clever, I would have wrote it was calculated and clever. Let's see here. I made it negative because you're the only person not in on the joke. Disagree wholeheartedly. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I assume you must be triggered by the special or something, or took a joke personally. I never take joke personally. Especially has several belly laugh moments, and it did not start slow. I did say that the second half of the special is actually decent. Your review is not honest, and I urge you to take a goof A goof hard look at yourself? A goof. Hey, Ben, I'm going to need you to, I don't know, make sure you know how to type there, bud. Get off your Android. All right. Dr. Slim, I think this guy is going to regret this review. Shane's special is already trending, and he's about to become a superstar. Did I say that I was going to hate Shane Gillis for the rest of my life? No. Yes, this dumbass doing stand-up reviews definitely understood a lot more about comedic timing than one of the best current comedians. I wouldn't call him best current comedians. There's a lot of good ones. The review is unaware of a new generation style of comedy that he blamed it on the special. Just admit you didn't get the jokes. Well, okay. Whoever wrote this is clearly an MSNBC dad. That's actually pretty funny. Terrible review, blah, blah, blah. Purposely leaves the entire punchline. Why am I going to give you the entire punchline in a fucking review?
Right.
Hello. Never said he wasn't talented. Watch the special. It does, in fact, rule. If you liked it, good for you. Rocky starts the review. Bland don't seem to be interested to understand his style of humor. I gave it a solid 4.5. Did you give my review a solid 4.5? Thank you. That's not what you did, but I don't often say this because it's douchey, but I actually think the special went over your head. Well, you don't often say it, but it seems like you did. Terrible review, great special. This review blows, my guy. You're welcome. Let's see here. The reviewer shows lack of comedic understanding. This review is a waste. Well, thank you for reading. The review is lame. Let's see here. Yes, this review is trash. Look, the thing about it is some of these, I'm trying to find, there's one of them. Stick to George Lopez. This option went over his tone-deaf glue sniffer's head. All right.
What do you mean?
Let's see here. My only thought was on this is Shane Gillis's girlfriend's Navy Blue SEAL's ex-boyfriend. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. That is probably the funniest comment. If you watch this special, you'll understand that comment. Once you do, it's literally trending on number one. That has no effect on me. Some of the worst things I've ever seen in my life trend number one on Netflix. So keep on coming, buddy. Let's see here. Hold on one second. Let's see here. Your review. I can't believe this. This one's my favorite. Your review almost made me not want to watch the special. First off, I want to thank you for holding me in such a high standard that you thought about not watching something because of what I wrote.
Right.
I never recommend anybody. Dom and I talk about this on the show. This is our opinion on the movie, right? I'm not telling, watch it for yourself. Form your own opinion, right? I can't believe this review hasn't been deleted yet. Well, it hasn't been deleted because all the rest of you idiots keep commenting on it. So, of course, people are going to keep watching it. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. All right. This guy was hilarious. He's like, I thought he should have been canceled. I vividly recall his cancellation from SNL for ridicule of Asians on his podcast. I'm Asian, didn't find it, blah, blah, blah. He loves him now. Good way to go. Honestly, though, there's a few other ones that didn't make the cut because, my editor kindly left them off. Horrible review. You need to, horrible. This one hasn't been approved yet. Horrible review. You need to quit. Damn it.
Oh, shucks. I guess I'm going to stop now.
Oh, the guy's name was Gay Boy. Oh, man. What a loser. But yeah, so I just figured everybody would have a lot of fun with this. The guy, I don't want to make assumptions here, but I think the guy that wrote this review is gay. That's pretty cool. Reviewer is a humorless motard. Didn't get one aspect, especially Gillis's very original, effective delivery. Watch a judge for yourself. Fucking find an editor, bro. That's why I write and you don't. It's funny and the best Trump imitation ever. I did say in my review that it was a very good Trump.
I don't think people realize. Okay, clearly these people are his biggest fans, right? I have comedians that I've loved forever, and they miss sometimes. Sometimes you just miss. Yeah. And I don't know if this is his first special or whatnot, but cool, you love dude, but you got to be objective. And that's what we do when we were writing these reviews. Even if we love something, we have to remove ourselves from that thing and go, oh man, I guess it wasn't that good. And if we are, openly leaning one way towards something because we love it, we're usually honest about it. You know what I mean? If I write something about the new Crow movie that's going to come out next year, I'm going to be like, The Crow is my favorite movie. And if I don't like this one as much, it's because The Crow is my favorite movie. Sorry. So it's going to be a little biased.
Exactly.
Yeah, people are funny.
Yeah, man, it's funny. It's crazy. Is the most of my hate comes from my reviews of stand-up comedy, and it's we talk about on the show, we love stand-up comedy, and if funny is funny, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
there's a lot of funny specials, and like there's a lot of funny comedians out here. And he was just the thing about it is that's not like the Bill Burr special that I literally have an entire Reddit thread dedicated to my review. And there's like 1,000 comments on it. It's crazy to me that people like take the review like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end type of shit. And it's like, calm down. First off, like the thing about it is I like Bill Burr. I'm a big fan of Bill Burr. I just thought that his special sucked. You know what I mean?
Right. And they don't realize too that we don't have the luxury most of the time to watch something and then like always have a friend with us and be able to pause and laugh and all these things. Sometimes we get this, a day or two before, sometimes the day of, we have to watch it. And if it don't hit, it don't hit. Sorry, it's different when you're like really anticipating this special coming out. You maybe just saw him live recently or a couple years ago, and then you're preparing to laugh because he's your favorite. Well, if I'm not familiar with the dude, and I sit down and go, "Oh, well, you know what? Like, it just didn't hit it for me." And so there's some people that I've watched interviews, like comedians I watch interviews with. I like the person more. So then when I watch their stand up, I was like, oh, this is funny because I understand the backstory of these things. And that's what it is. Comedians now all have podcasts. So there's a very personal attachment to all of them. All these backstories. Like I know more about Whitney Cummings than I thought I would ever know. Same thing with Conan. Same thing with Nikki Glazer and Schultz and Akash. So when I go to a show, I'm gonna feel more invested because I feel like they're my friend because I've heard their whole life story. So of course things are funnier, and I think that's what the new school comedians, that's their thing. They know that their fan base knows them. That's what Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, they have a fan base that knows them. So when they talk about their kids, you're like, oh, I know his daughter because they tell us about the daughter, and it makes it that much more funny. So when you are new to this person, I'm not going to get the references and the inside jokes, so it's not going to be fun for me at all.
Yeah, it's crazy to me because the thing about it is like I am that guy. I'm the type of guy that loves when a comedian makes it personal, because that means when throughout this, like Kevin Hart does it perfectly. Kevin Hart, early on in his he was going through a divorce. It made it funny because he was going through it and you were hearing the jokes about it. Then he was married, getting remarried, and then he cheated, and then like that kind of interrupt. He had kids, and then his kids grew up, and there's different layers of his storytelling that you're able to understand. And it's like the thing about it is you're right. The thing about it is I think people get so caught up in the podcast that no matter what they present to you on stage is going to be perfect. And that's the part where you need to separate I know this guy because I listened to his podcast, and oh my God, his stand-up special might have been shitty. But it's crazy. I don't know. I just think it's funny. I hope they keep commenting because it's awesome. Like all you're doing is giving me more and more clicks on my article. So we appreciate that. But thinking of which, watch the Shane Gillis podcast for yourself and let me know if you think you like it. Dom, I want you to watch it. So next week you can tell me, maybe you could join the circus and tell everybody that you agree with all those hateful haters and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we will be back next week. I have absolutely positively no clue what the hell we're going to review next week yet, but we will keep something in mind because nothing's coming out in theaters. So we will figure something out because that's what we always do. But we will talk to you guys next week.